Arav wasn't reckless with money. He grew up in a household where money was treated carefully, almost nervously. Every rupee had a job. Bills came first, savings came second, dreams came last. His parents weren't poor, but they were never comfortable either. Money was always discussed in low voices, usually at night, when they thought Arav was asleep. Expenses are increasing. Salary is the same. We need to be careful. Those words stayed with him, so Arav grew up believing one thing very deeply. Money equals safety. If you saved money, you were responsible. If you spent too much, you were careless. And if you lost money, that was unforgivable. By the time he got his first job, Arav was proud of himself. He didn't waste money. He didn't chase luxury. He saved. Every month, a portion of his salary went straight into his savings account. Watching that number slowly grow gave him comfort. It felt like control. It felt like protection. Then one day, someone said a word that changed everything. Investment. It started casually. A colleague mentioned stocks during lunch. Another talked about mutual funds. Someone else mentioned inflation. At least invest something, they said. Saving alone isn't enough, they said. Arav smiled and nodded, but inside something felt off. Investing sounded dangerous. Saving felt safe. Investing felt like gambling. What if the market crashed? What if he chose the wrong thing? What if he lost everything? That night, Arav opened his banking app and looked at his savings balance. It wasn't huge, but it was his. Every rupee represented hours of work, early mornings, late nights. The idea of putting even a small part of that at risk made his chest feel tight. And yet, the thought wouldn't leave him. Arav started researching. He watched videos, read articles, scrolled endlessly. Some people said investing was easy. Others said it was dangerous. Some showed massive profits. Others warned about devastating losses. The more he learned, the more confused he became. Every investment option came with two voices. One voice said, "This could grow your money." The other whispered, "This could destroy it." He learned about compounding. He learned about time in the market. He learned that inflation silently eats savings. And suddenly, not investing felt risky too. That's when the fear changed shape. Yet it wasn't just fear of losing money anymore. That was fear of missing out. Fear of staying stuck. Fear of realizing, years later, that he waited too long. The night before Arav made his first investment, he barely slept. His phone lay next to him, screen dark, investment app installed but unopened. His mind raced. What if this is a mistake? What if I regret this? What if I'm not smart enough for this? He imagined worst-case scenarios, market crashes, headlines, losses. His brain wasn't being logical, it was being protective. Because to the brain, uncertainty feels like danger, and investing is full of uncertainty. The next morning, Arav made his decision. Not a big amount, not a life-changing amount, just a small SUM.A, an amount he could afford to lose. At least on paper. He opened the app, selected the investment, read the details 3 times. His finger hovered over the button. This was it. One click. And suddenly, the money was gone. Not spent. Not saved. Invested. Arav stared at the screen. Nothing dramatic happened. No alarms. No fireworks. Just silence. And then, fear. The fear didn't hit immediately. It crept in slowly. He checked the app again after 5 minutes. Then 10. Then every hour. When the value dropped slightly, his heart sank. When it went up, he felt temporary relief. This wasn't what he expected. He thought investing would make him feel confident. Instead, it made him anxious. He questioned himself constantly. Why did I do this? I should have waited. I should have learned more. The irony was painful. He invested to feel secure in the future, but felt insecure in the present. What Arav didn't realize was that nothing was wrong. This fear wasn't a sign of failure, that it was a sign of transition. For the first time in his life, Arav had moved money from certainty to probability. Saving is certain. Investing is uncertain. And the human brain hates uncertainty. Your brain's job is not to make you rich. It's to keep you alive. To your brain, losing money feels like losing safety. And safety is survival. When fear shows up after your first investment, it's not weakness. It's biology. Every experienced investor you admire once felt exactly like Arav. They checked prices obsessively. They doubted themselves. They questioned every decision. The difference? They didn't quit. They understood something important. Frank with fear doesn't mean danger. Fear means unfamiliarity. Every experienced investor you admire once felt exactly like Arav. They checked prices obsessively. They doubted themselves. They questioned every decision. The difference? They didn't quit. They understood something important. Come on. Fear doesn't mean danger. Fear means unfamiliarity. Your first investment is not about making money. It's about learning. Learning how it feels when markets move, learning how emotions react to numbers, learning patience. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You don't start to win races. You start to fall. But each fall teaches balance. Over time, Arav stopped checking the app every hour, not because the fear vanished, but because he understood it. He realized that short-term movement didn't matter, that his investment wasn't a daily judgment of his intelligence. It was a long-term process. The fear softened, not gone, just quieter. Months later, Arav realized something surprising. The scariest part of investing wasn't losing money. It was letting go of control. Saving feels like control. Investing feels like trust. Trust in time. Trust in systems. Trust in yourself. If your first investment scares you, good. It means you care. It means you're stepping outside comfort. That I too means you're growing. The goal isn't to feel fearless. The goal is to move forward despite fear. Because the real risk isn't investing and losing. The real risk is never starting at all. Years from now, you won't remember the exact price of your first investment, but you will remember the moment you chose growth over comfort. And that moment changes everything. If this story helped you understand your fear, like the video. If you want more simple investing stories, subscribe. Your journey